Hello everyone, welcome back to Lego Farms. It's been quite a while. I've been busy and I've been busy. I've been doing a lot of single play on this map. This map, which is Red River, Manitoba. Before we scoot outside, I'll show you what I have so far. This is the map. It's an 8x map. It's an older map already for 22. So this is my landmass. These squares are actual full quarters. And I went and changed some of the oddball ones, like this one here. I went and put a new division line, made this into each a full quarter. And then up here, I joined these two into one field. And then same with this one, I divided this field here. These are both full quarters. Then I got some half quarters here, so yeah, this works out to be, I think, what did I figure it is? 6,813 acres when I added it up. So good size farm, that's for sure. And we had a really good year last year, so then I ended up buying these 3 quarters right here, or 4 quarters, 3 fields. 4 quarters here. 1/2 section, 2 quarters. So then my financials, I took out a loan for that. And I just finished paying off these 2 loans last year. So I sold off a bunch of crop. Just for numbers, I don't remember how much wheat I had. I didn't write it down. It was something like 30,000 bushels or whatever. Because I was just using it for seed. So I'm treating it and I'm also cleaning it. So I use that as my source of my seed for seeding next year. And so barley I had 128,000 bushels. Canola I had 191,000 bushels. Soybeans 75,000 bushels. Peas was 135,000 bushels. And mustard was 89,000 bushels. So if you go into here, you can see should have been December, I guess, when I did a lot of selling. So made a lot of money on grain, that's for sure. And here's my land purchases. So I do have a bin setup, and I made some changes to it. I added some dry crops to it, dry peas, dry mustard, and dry canola. Just because what I was finding with this setup was that because I'm using the moisture mod, when I put the grain in at 10 or 11% or whatever, it was dry. Then I went to take it out, it was 30%. And I don't know how to fix that. So what I had to do was like dry all of the grain, even though it was dry. So I had to dry it. So it meant a lot of moving grain around and stuff. So that was kind of a pain. Then that's why I made these dry crops in here so that it doesn't matter whatever I put in there now. But the bad part is whatever goes into that bin setup has to be dried. So yeah, so and then my of course your stock check, it doesn't read everything in that silo, in that bin setup, so it's only reading the one bin, which is the 40,000 bushel. So then there's still a 60,000 bushel bin that's full of dry peas also. And then I still have my soybeans to sell, so I think I figured out, because I have like $1.8 million worth of dry peas in the other bin, so that's $3 million. So I have $5.5 million to come in yet, so I'll easily be able to pay off this loan here. And then I do have all of my machinery paid off except for this one here. So that's on a lease to own program. So I'll take you on a little tour here. This is the house and my little shed slash shop. The house is a little bit separate from the main farm because there's a little water area there, so yeah, so it's been, this map I'm doing, like, it's got a lot of, it's all course play and auto drive, so there's courses for everything. There's still a few courses as I've been switching machinery, I've been deleting some courses and adding some courses, so this is the farm here, and this is the this is the bin site I was talking about, so if I go in here, let's see, I have it set up on the 40,000 bushel. So if I switch it to, it's actually bin 4. So if I switch it there, then my $1.8 million now. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't read all of the bins. It only reads the bins, whatever you're selected on. So this is my bin site. I got different size fertilizer bins here. These last 5 big bins here are my seed bins. So I will use my little grain cleaner over here, clean into those bins. And then what I was also doing was taking out of my wheat bin and treating it with that AGI storm auger. And then I filled these bins with seed. And I have my water tanks for to fill my dash ray trailers. This little water area kind of divides the yard here. And then here my heavy arrows, the bloggers, and then we move over to some village equipment, cultivator disc, detail, Yeah, I have a lot of bins, but actually I filled every single one of them. So now that I bought those 4 quarters, I'm gonna have to add some more storage to the yard here. So here's my spring lineup here. That last one of those stone picker tractors we just purchased new, and we traded in. I had a T7 315 and I was would have been a Magnum like 250. We traded those both in. We just bought one tractor, and then we bought these two. I had 2 quad tracks before, same tractors, but we just went with the LSW duals instead. So we did a few upgrades, but nothing really changed really. So, and then we also bought 3 new combines. We traded off our 9250s. We had 3 of those with 3 CNH 45-foot headers with air bars on. And then we went to these Midwest Legacy 50-foots. So we're gonna see how that works. And then there's my AGI Storm and some conveyors and another conveyor. Use that for the peas. If I'm loading into the bin, we got our Balzer grain cart, tandem, and then the truck. When we trade off and buy equipment, we can go pick it up ourselves. And then we got a gooseneck and a little flat deck trailer there. We need to move a skid steer or lawnmower or something. And then we got all our grain trailers in here right now. Sprayer and a couple of dash trailers here. And these are the seating outfits. So we bought these 2 tractors new as well. Same thing, I had 2 of them before last year, but one was on tracks, one was on just wide duals, and we went with both have the LSW wide duals now. So same air seaters. And then we're doing anhydrous. Just you can go longer. You can haul more seed. You can haul more fertilizer. It just makes sense. So, and then these are the seed trucks to fill the drills. And we got our service truck, the fuel wagon. And we got our fuel tanks over there. And if we go inside here, this is the main shop. Got another sprayer in here, worked on. We got some storage for all of our chemicals, seed totes and salt and whatever else. Same over here. We got our little wash trailer there. Skid steer, lawnmower. We got our def in here, along with another def that we were putting def in the back of the truck. And then we got our soap over there. We were putting def in the back of the pickup with our other fuel wagon, and then we ended up buying this fuel wagon instead, just because it's got the def tank on the back of it. So now we don't have to haul the def in the back of the truck. So, and yeah, that's the main farm. I'll maybe go pick up the other type of pickup and go cruise to town. See what the co-op has to offer. There's a guy in town that delivers our propane, and then there's a couple of brothers that have their own trucks, lease operators that work for the fertilizer company there that pull anhydrous in the spring and in the fall. I think they're well, I know that their trucks are there right now because they're going to be seeding tomorrow, so we're just kind of putting the last few touches on everything we need to do before we get rolling here, because it's going to be a busy spring. We got a lot of acres to cover, and we already have our seed plan all figured out for what fields going to be what crops, and I think I got the list here. So I think this year we're going to have 7 quarters of barley, 11 quarters of soybeans, 10.5 quarters of mustard, one quarter of wheat, just because that we'll use that to top up the half bin of wheat we have. I think we got a 30,000 bushel bin. It's about half full of wheat, so I'd like to get that full again. Although that might change too. I'll have to see which field is it. What is a bigger quarter that we're seeding to wheat, so should be good. Just because with the 4 more quarters we might need some more seed. And then 6 quarters of peas, and then we're gonna have 4 quarters of canola. So we kind of switched it up a bit. We had a lot of canola last year. We're gonna put a little bit more mustard in this year. Mustard and soybeans. Because like I said, I got a few more quarters of land that I want to buy, so and then too I've been doing a lot of auto drive courses, and I've been trying to figure out some really good ways to more efficient ways to do it. So if I go to here, I haven't done it on this end, but what I've been doing is kind of doing this where you have just you stop at the field entrance, and then if you look at my auto drive list here, we're at field 109. So I got a 109 south and a south load, and then a 109 north. So I haven't actually done the north load yet. But what I was doing, I can actually make it right now. So what I would do is and this is for the trucks. So when the semis come into the field, I can automatically just pick where they're gonna go. So being I have for semis, I kind of try to make a pretty big, because sometimes they'll all be here. So we'll go like this, and we'll color. And actually, I'm finding this is working really, really well for me right now. So now this way nobody's driving on the crop and stuff. I can get the combines to come to field 109 north, and then they'll just line up here until I get them all going in the field and set up and stuff. And then that way, once they get this first headland, is when all three of them come across here, this will all be cleared out. And this way the trucks are facing the right way for the grain cart to come in. And then the trucks leave. Been really, really, really well. Because also because when I have my other course play courses, then when I choose say a spreader to come in and spread lime, well, I already have my course play courses made in the auto drive course, so I just tell him what field, and I'll load up his course while he's driving. Hit the little course play button right here on the auto drive menu. As soon as he gets to the field, he loads up that course. I don't even have to be there anymore. I can go do other stuff, so which saves me a lot of time because there's other machinery I gotta get going, and trucks to be loaded, unloaded, stuff like that. So especially when at harvest, when I have to fill bins and stuff, so I'll be tabbing from the grain cart over to the semis and doing that kind of stuff. So works out really good. And this is the fertilizer company that I get my anhydrous from, and my lime. So I ended up setting up another elevator on this map. Just it was nice to have a third option. It actually worked out that I could set it up right over the tracks. So the tracks actually run right between this mod. And here's my anhydrous fill point. That was all on the map. I added this stuff here, just this shed and little area here. So I get these guys to spread lime every fall. And then I harrow it in, being I need to harrow anyways. I harrow all my fields, that way they get the mulching, whatever you would call it, the bonus, I guess, if you would call it a bonus. These are the brothers' trucks that haul the anhydrous to the field, so yeah. So actually, so what I would do is in the spring I seed, and then I spray for weeds, and then I harvest, and then I spread my lime, and then I harrow, and then I do it all over again. And actually it's been working out quite well, just because my environmental score is way up there. The only reason it's at 92 is because I bought these 4 fields. Although before that it was actually at 96. So the method is working out quite well, actually. So. And actually I have it set up that, well, I shouldn't say, I don't have it set up that he can I could if I wanted to, but I don't. For the propane guy to come and refill the propane tank at the bin site there, but normally I'm kind of around there anyways, and I can just move him into position and unload it. I could get him to do it himself, but not a huge deal. I'd rather have all the other stuff automated anyways. And then, yeah, I added some of these roads. This was a multiplayer game before, but we kind of stopped playing. Then I kind of took it over and we added kind of a road to come through here. Get to Cargill. Because otherwise this little paved road was the only way to get to the elevator. Same with that road that I took. So the road is actually right here. This is the course we just made. Then the road kind of comes up here and around here to the elevators. Well, this road actually does not exist on the map if you would download it now. So I added that in. Otherwise the trucks had to go all the way to the highway and around and back in. And then what I was finding also, because this road is so narrow, so when you have the trucks going on one single road all the time, you'll get collisions and stuff, or they'll be running into each other, especially on this corner here. That's why I added a couple other roads. That way, if I can actually be hauling two different grains at the same time. And if you're going to two different elevators, it works out pretty good. So you don't have too many collisions that way. And this just takes you back to the farm there. So there's a lot of open land here. I wouldn't mind working, but see, this is the road that goes to Cargill. Kind of some shortcuts. I know the land I'm thinking about getting into is all the way north. And I might have to figure out a shortcut because it would be at the very far northeast corner of the map. And I'm almost at the very southeast corner. So you can see just how long it takes me just to get from home to the farm. So the pavement, I think, is almost about half of the map. So it takes a while, that's for sure. Especially if you're got to haul the grain home. You got a high bushel crop, but you hope you don't have to put it in the silo to be dried. Yeah, that's the farm tour. That's what I've been up to. Excited to get rolling again here. Get another crop in the ground. Try out those new combines. Try out those new headers. The new headers are, I think, Hispano modding, I think. I haven't tried them yet. Midwest. And then they have like their own transport on them, so if you want, which I need when I'm doing auto drive, to have header trailers and stuff, it just doesn't work, so there's just too much equipment. It's okay if you got one combine or two combines, but if you got three or more, it turns into a real pain in the butt, so you need the space to park the header trailers. So when you're rushing trying to get the equipment off the road and stuff, then it just turns into more of a hassle than anything. So I think that's about it. For that. And that's about all I really know. I mean, I was gonna get 4 combines, but to be honest, I don't know. It's you get a 4th combine and then it just doesn't work out quite right with the grain cart and that. So I'm just gonna try 3 again. And actually, if you can keep them all going, you can get a lot cut with 3. So 8:30 a.m. Chance of showers. I think they said at 10 o'clock. So I think we're gonna eat our Wheaties and find something to do after that. So with that, I'm gonna take off. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.